Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing a 1991 film, The Prince of Tides, starring Nick Nolte and Barbara Streisand, who also co-produced and directed this film. And we're going to get into a little more details with Barbara Streisand directing this movie. And towards the end of this video, because it's pretty controversial, and I'm going to mention it. Well, this film was was regarded at the time as one of the most highly recommended, most highly praised, and highly reviewed movies at that time, and was nominated for a bunch of Oscar awards, and won the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture in Drama. But there's a problem. The problem was that when the Oscar nominations came out, it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, not for Best Director, which we'll get into in a second, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress for the actress who played Nick Nolte's sister in the film, who played Savannah in the film, and got highly praised. But the problem was when the Oscar, like I said, when the Oscars nominations came out, Barbara Streisand, who directed this movie, did not get nominated. And it was one of the few times in movie history, or at least in Oscar history, that the Best Picture also did not get a Best Director nod. And it's only happened maybe a couple of times in history when a movie was nominated for Best Picture and the director wasn't, because usually they go hand in hand. But for some reason, I guess the Academy has something against Barbara Streisand, I guess, because it's too much of a liberal bitch, I guess. Or say all those things against Bush, and I'm talking about Bush 41 at the time. So I guess, well, I'm not sure if she said anything negative about Prince. I know she says Bush 42, or Bush 43. But H.W. Bush, I don't think she said anything negative. But she didn't get nominated, and Billy Crystal, who was, I would say, in my generation, the best Oscar host, he came out and he did a little medley about, he does like a little song and dance routine about discussing all the Oscar nominated movies. There were only 5 at the time, not like 10 now. I couldn't imagine how long that sequence would be if Billy Crystal did, because he only did like 5, and he does a pretty good job on it. And when he brought up Prince of Tides, why did this movie directed itself? Because it was pretty controversial at the time that Prince of Tides, that Barbara Streisand was not nominated for Best Director, and it was pretty controversial back then. And now, of course, I know it was only over 3 minutes, but it's a pretty long introduction. But for the movie itself, of course, it is based on a novel, and I should also mention the fact that Robert Redford was originally was the one supposed to produce, direct, and star in. And he did produce it, but when he found out that Barbara Streisand, his former co-star from The Way We Were, wanted to direct this film, he backed off and he said, "Okay, just produce it and you direct." And he just said to Barbara, "Okay, I produce it, you direct it. And take care of all the stuff behind the scenes, and you take stuff in front of the camera." And Barbara said, "Okay." And so she did everything. I think that Barbara Streisand, even though I don't like her politics, I do feel that, of course, she's one of the greatest singers of all time, at least the greatest female singer of all time, in my opinion. And she's also a hell of a director. She directed Yentl, which was the first movie. She directed this one, and I think she directed 2 other films. I believe she directed at least 2 others. Of course, she did a terrific job with it. She did a better job with this thing directing than she did in Yentl. But getting to the film, this film is based on The Prince of Tides. Is based on a popular novel, and Barbara Streisand, of course, wanted to direct it and star in it. Because this movie is about this family from the South. Nick Nolte plays a guy who was a former football coach and a teacher who recently lost his job in a school. It wasn't clear why he lost his job, but he lost his job, and he found out that his sister, his twin sister, I should say, just once again attempted suicide. So his mother, or Nick Nolte's mother in the film, calls him up and says, your sister, visits him and says, your sister attempted suicide again. And your sister's psychiatrist is Dr. Lorenstein, this Jew psychiatrist from New York. And that's how they actually said it anyway. The mother says, like, an anti-Semitic remark, of course, complaining that that your sister's psychiatrist was a Jew from New York, a New York Jew. And of course, nowadays that line would be taken out. And I think it wasn't politically correct back then, in '91 when the movie came out, but it was, a pretty offensive line. No matter what era it is, it was an offensive line. And she goes, your sister's psychiatrist, when somebody from the family go up there and try to fill in the blanks of why your sister would kill herself. And then she said, why do I have to go? I said, well, you're not doing anything. I mean, you're unemployed now. I said, okay, I'll go up. So he goes up there and meets the psychiatrist, Dr. Lorenstein, who was played by Barbara Streisand, like I mentioned earlier. And they try to fill in the holes to why. And then Nochi says, this is not the first time she killed herself. She has a history of doing this. And unfortunately, she's been trying to kill herself since she was about like 13, 14 years old. Every so often. Something traumatic would come up and she would kill herself. Like our brother died because they had older brothers. And when he died, she killed herself then. That was like the first time I can remember her killing herself then. And even though that story later changes in the end of the film, or later on in the film, but of course then, well, Nick Nolte was in New York trying to fill in the holes. And why his sister would commit suicide, his twin sister would commit suicide. He finds out that his wife was cheating on him with another doctor. Because his wife was supposed to be a doctor, or Nick Nolte's wife. And he finds out that his wife was cheating on him. And she admits it to him over the phone. She does it over the phone. When he's in New York, she's down in Georgia. And she tells him straight out that I want to leave, and thinking of getting a divorce and stuff, and considering a divorce. And while he's in New York trying to deal with the drama of trying to find out why his sister would kill himself, then you find out another little subplot that Barbara Streisand had a son who was played by a real life homosexual gay son, Jason Gould. Of course, he was a fat. He was a. I'm not going to say the F word. For gays. You could tell he was a gay. He was homosexual. I mean, come on. I mean, he is a good-looking kid, but when he found out he was a homosexual, he said, big shock that Barbara Streisand would raise a homosexual son. I mean, that wasn't a shock to anybody. Because Barbara Streisand has one of the biggest homosexual followings in this country, in the world as a singer. Followed behind Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland. Right? The three of them have three big gay followings. Except for maybe Elton John. Right? As a following from homosexuals. Anyway, Nick Nolte was, like I said, was a football coach. He gives it Barbara's, thank you. Lorenstein's was the name of Barbara Streisand's character, son, for football because he likes to be on the football team. And meanwhile, the father, who was Barbara Streisand's husband in the film, objected to it because he wanted his son to be a musician like he was. Because Barbara Streisand's husband is a world-famous musician, it's always a radar. And of course, there was a scene later on where they had a dinner party and the husband was acting like an asshole. I have to say towards Nick Nolte, because your sister's nuts, and you're nuts like your sister. Because I guess he found out from Norrisy that tells him that he's only here because his sister's nuts and you're nuts like your sister and all that stuff. And then Nick Nolte gets even by having his couple $1 million violin to drop it, or train stories, whatever how tall the building lived in was. And we he didn't do it, but Nick Nolte threatened to do it. I was to get even with this son of a bitch. So Barbara Streisand gets mad. She walks out on him and said, "I can't believe I was married to that son of a bitch this long." And then, of course, the two of them start Nick Nolte and Barbara Streisand start a passionate love affair, and which is pretty graphic. You don't see any nudity and stuff like that, but it was a pretty graphic sex scene for the two of them, particularly for Barbara Streisand, because you normally don't see Barbara Streisand during sex scene. There's no nudity. You don't see her in the bra and panties. I mean, it doesn't go that far, but was a steamy enough scene as it was for. It is about as far as you're going to get in a Barbara Streisand movie. Even though she was still, I think she must have been in the early 50s by then, or late 40s, early 50s by then. But she was still a good-looking woman then. Now you don't want to see a good-looking woman. She's not good-looking now because she's getting a whole bunch of it because she's so depressed. Buddy Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump in the 2016 election. So because of that, she's been stuffing her face. She didn't move to Canada. She should. But didn't. And she stuffed her face and now she's fatter than I am now. Right? But to see her in a steamy sex scene, I was like, damn. What could do with a sex scene. And of course, all that stuff is going on. You do finally get to the fact of why Nick Nolte's sister, her name was Savannah, her character's name was Savannah, trying to kill herself, and it was pretty disgusting, traumatic flashback, because it did have flashbacks to see how Nick Nolte, his twin sister, Savannah, and the older brother were treated by the parents, and they were treated miserably by the parents. And of course you thought, because it was a long time since I've seen the movie in full, and so you thought it was maybe because of the abuse of the father, molesting the daughter, and in flashbacks that she wanted to kill herself, and that wasn't the issue. I'm not going to give away because it is a very important plot point, and they do show it in pretty graphic. What happened to not only him, Nick Nolte's character, what happened to him, but what happened to the, well, what the hell was, major spoiler, the Nick Nolte's character, when he was 9 years, I think it was like 7 or 8 years old then, his twin sister and his mother were raped. Yes, Nick Nolte, when he was a character, when he was a little boy, was raped by 3 guys who broke into the house. 3 burglars. One raped his mother, the other one raped his sister, and one raped Nick Nolte. Believe it or not. Raped the 3 of them. And then the brother came home and shot the 2 of them. And shot 2 out of the 3. And the mother killed the guy who raped her. So the mother took one of them out, and then Nick Nolte's older brother took the 2 of them out. And of course, they also explain in the film what happened to the brother, why he did, and what happened was it was like a protest thing, and he got shot in the head by a cop. Right? So you have all that drama. Of course, that was the catalyst of Savannah, Nick Nolte's sister in the film. She killed herself like about a year later, like a year or 2 after this incident. And we didn't even talk about it. We didn't even tell her father what happened. Your father didn't know what happened? I said, no, we covered it all up. And we took the 3 bodies out, we cleaned the house, because my father was out on a shipping boat, because the father was a shrimp boat captain. The kind of call it Skunk was, running a shrimp boat. So it was out getting shrimp. Out on one of his runs to get shrimp, dig up shrimp from the ocean. So he wasn't there when this happened. So we cleaned everything up. We buried the three guys, and that was it. And he didn't know. Cleaned up the house the best we could, and our father didn't even know what happened to us. And a year or two later, that's when the sister first killed herself, and then when the older brother died, she killed herself again, second time. So this was like the third time that the sister killed herself when the movie starts. At the beginning of the film, when the sister Savannah killed herself, that was like the third time she did it, or trying to kill herself. Of course, I should also mention that comedian, before I finish this video, George Carlin, the late great comedian George Carlin, appears in this movie as a neighbor of Savannah's, and he was a homosexual, and he was flirting with Nick Nolte a little bit, and his gay lover also trying to flirt Nick Nolte to turn him gay. And he said, "Look, I'm not gay, I'm not homosexual. I don't dance with." There's one point he says, "I don't dance with guys. I'm gonna dance with girls." And he says, "I'm going to live in the wild side for," and he goes, "Oh, live in the wild side for once," and do all that crazy stereotypical homosexual stuff that was in 1991. But actually nowadays, 2018, the gays or gays organization would make us think over that stuff. But as of course in the film, by the end of the film, after they had all the steamy sex with Barbra Streisand and Nick Nolte, and like I said earlier, it was pretty steamy for a Barbra Streisand film for that. Nick Nolte gets, and after they have the whole weekend affair with Barbra Streisand, they go kind of like Family Attraction when they have the whole weekend having sex in the house. Nick Nolte gets a call from his wife. He says, "Look, I want to get back together." So of course Nick Nolte had no choice but to give it a chance. But he still thinks of. So he breaks it over with Barbra Streisand, and of course she's crying over it. And he says, and then of course at the end of the film, it always seems to be that Barbra Streisand always has to end her relationships in just about every movie she was in. Or at least it feels that way. Well, every relationship she's in with the movie, by the end of the film, they break up and stuff. She did, and of course it happens again in this film. And of course, but Nick Nolte still thinks of Barbra Streisand's character. Even though he's back with the wife, that they have a good life now. He's back working as a teacher and as a football coach at another school. And life is good right now, but he's still thinking of Lowenstein. That's the only word that pops into his mind every day is Lowenstein. And it is a good movie. It should have been, at least Barbra Streisand should have been nominated for best director. Well, of course, like I mentioned at the top of this video, when it received all those Oscar nominations, guess how many Oscar nominations that Prince of Tides won? 0. You know why? Because it was up against a little movie you might have heard of, folks. Silence of the Lambs came out that year. And of course at the Oscars, even though it didn't do so well at the Golden Globes, Silence of the Lambs, I'm talking about, for the Oscars, they won everything. They won the 5 major, where they consider the 5 major awards. They don't consider the best supporting actor or best supporting actress major awards for some dumb reason, but they consider these 5 to be the top 5 awards. There's best actor, best actress, best director, best screenplay, and of course best picture. And Silence of the Lambs was the first movie since One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to do that. And I don't think there has been a movie since then to do that, to win all those 5 major awards like that. And a lot of people, I know the Cinephiles guys are going to link this to the Cinephiles group page on Facebook. They were complaining that I think one of them, Aaron Cohen, says, "You know what movie was the favorite to win Best Picture? It was Prince of Tides." And Edwin Simonson goes, "Oh God, not that one." Because it got a lot of crap on because of maybe because of Barbara Streisand or something. I don't know what the reason why you don't like this movie. Because it is a good story. I thought it was going to go a different. Like I said earlier, it was a long time since I saw this movie, and for them to have the three characters, the brother, sister, and the mother getting raped by three burglars, I thought it was more. It was like a twist I didn't expect. I thought it was a stereotypical bit where the father molested the daughter, and that's the reason why the daughter tried to kill herself. And that makes more sense than having Nick Nolte's character being raped when he was a little boy. That was a scene that I didn't. Yeah, like I said earlier, there was a twist I didn't expect that he would be, that his character would be raped. But that's the reason why the daughter. When the sister tried to kill herself 3 times. And of course, it'd be interesting if there was a sequel. I know there was a sequel to this novel, but it'd be interesting if there was, and they would renew the love affair, or Nick Nolte's character and Barbara Streisand renewed their love affair in the film. It'll be in the books if it's interesting they made a sequel on that, but I don't know. If there is, please comment down below if there is a sequel to Prince of Tides. So that's my review on the film Prince of Tides. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at realityscene.com, that's all WDY, realityscene.com, there's a whole page of Reality Reviewer. Please see more, please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.